ராஜ்குமார் சார் கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க சார். டீன்
Good morning, all of you.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mohan. Good morning, Narajan sir. Welcome.
Sir, sir தான் டீன் சார் எங்களுக்கு.
சரிங்க.
ஆல்பர்ட் சார். Jesus Rajkumar ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் சார். நம்ம டைம் கரெக்ட்டா
இருக்கு. Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
மீட்டிங் இருக்கு.
Sir, I also joined.
Thank you, Dr. Mohan. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning, sir. Okay, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to welcome you all to Inclusive Sports and Physical Activities for the Persons with Disabilities National Level Workshop. May I request beloved and Honorable Director of Sports, Dr. R. Mohan Krishnan, to welcome the gathering.
அட்ரஸ் பண்ணிருக்காரு.
சரி வைங்க, நான் அந்த மீட்டிங் முடிச்சிட்டேன்.
Good morning to everyone. On behalf of Department of Physical Education, Sports Sciences, and on behalf of welcome our beloved Dean, College of Science and Humanities, and Deputy Dean, College of Science and Humanities, and today speaker, my well-wisher, our sports philosopher from Special Olympics International, Dr. M.S. Nagarajan. Welcome you, sir. And welcome all the participants from various parts of the world for the national level workshop on inclusive sports and physical activities for the person with disability. The first time we organize workshop for the person with disabilities. Welcome one and all. Over to speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Mohan Krishnan. I'm going to give a brief introduction about the speaker. Dr. M.S. Nagarajan, pioneer in the field of physical education and in special education, has been the inspiration for more than millions of people all around the world. He has a wide knowledge both in academics and in sports practicals. He has framed rules and regulations for the physically challenged sports, and it is followed by the specific federations. He is a multi-talented personality who can write poems too. A well-known speaker who has spread the joy of sports around the universe. Over to Dr. Nagarajan, the speaker of today's workshop.
Thank you, Mohan and Jesus. I'm respected Dean, Dr. Doraiswamy, and the Deputy Dean, Mr. Albert Anthony, and all the participants. First of all, I welcome for this thought-provoking workshop organized by the SRM Institute of Research and Technology, and especially the Department of Physical Education and Sports Sciences and the College of Science and Humanities. It gives me an immense pleasure to be with all, and I hope this session will be a thought-provoking session for all the people. And my thanks to Dr. R. Mohan Krishnan and his team of dedicated physical education professionals working in the department. And today, the theme of this workshop, main theme of workshop is the revolution is inclusion. Why I say it's a revolution? Because this area has been neglected for several years, especially in India and other developing and underdeveloped countries. So we have taken very seriously to create an awareness among the physical education teachers, physical directors, and the coaches about how to include the persons with the disability in adapted physical education and sports activities. See, this inclusion in sports as a different spectrum. Like, we can, people may ask how to include them. Everybody wants to include, but how to include them? See, in this, I can say there is you can include without no modifications also. In the existing sports activities, like swimming, they can also swim. Visually impaired can swim. Hearing impaired can swim. Even physically challenged people with hands without legs can swim, paraplegics, and especially the persons with intellectual disability. Whenever I mention the intellectual disability, it is previously it was called mental retardation, but we are not using that word mental retardation. It has been banned. So I use the intellectual disability. See, some of the like swimming, running, throwing, without modification, they can include it. And some of the activities we can include with the minor modifications. Like an athlete with hearing impaired can run along with a regular athlete. Here, the minor modification, the starter of the race, we will usually use fire. You will use the fire gun for firing. Is an athlete, annual marks, set and go. Before that, you should also have signal, carrying the pistol on his right side, and he has to give the signal to the hearing impaired athlete who is also participating in the same race, with said, athletes on your marks. So he has to lower down. Set. And when he said down, he must bang the gun as well as the lowering the flag. So that the simultaneously persons without and within hearing impaired, they can start together. It is a minor modification, that's all. But only in this, another smaller modification is whenever somebody takes the foul start, the recall starter blow the whistle and call beep, 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 he called all the people back. But hearing impaired people cannot hear the noise of the whistle. So you must appoint a recall starter exclusively for this hearing impaired people at the 25 meters or 20 meters. So they will immediately, when the recall starter blow the whistle, he will intercept and he will wave the flag, red flag, so that the hearing impaired can understand who it is, somebody has taken the foul start. So these are the minor modifications an athlete in 100 meters with and without hearing impaired can participate. Similarly, there is a we can have this is a one way. There is so many events we can include with minor modifications. Similarly, the major modification in a visually impaired people can also play volleyball. I will show you the video at the end of this talk. And there's the only problem, the visually impaired, they cannot anticipate the ball in the three-dimensional area. But the two-dimensionally they can play. So you can modify this game. They can, instead of playing over the net, they can play under the net. You will be amazed to see this, how they are playing and performing this game. So these are all the way, there is a spectrum, like, the people with disability, they have a wheelchair race, wheelchair competition. And this wheelchair competition, even without physically challenged, even the regular people, normal people can sit and play along with them. But primarily, to encourage the wheelchair athletes, they have a wheelchair basketball competitions, and especially to give more importance to the paraplegics, and persons without paraplegic also they can play. Like, there is another area where they can act as referees. You would have seen the tennis and table tennis referees are sitting on a chair and they are officiating. They are not moving around. I'm not talking about the hockey or football or basketball, but I'm talking about the volleyball or table tennis or tennis. Players, the referees are sitting on a chair and they are officiating. Can't you, the physically challenged people cannot do this? Think about that. We can include them as a referees also, as an officials also. Even in the regular volleyball, a deaf person can act as a line umpire. In tennis, all the games with wherever only the showing signals whether the ball is in or out, he can do that. We can include also referees. And similarly, only with the persons with the disability, whenever we are organizing the sports meet, in our annual sports meet of our college, where we don't have any disabled people, we can organize the annual sports day, and we have a series of competitions, and in between we can invite some of the nearby special schools. It may be a blind school or intellectually challenged school or physically challenged or hearing impaired. We can have them some competitions for them. It is only for the people with the disability, but imagine there is a huge crowd, a cheering group is encouraging them on the field. When they are running, all the spectators, college students or school students, all will encourage them in the competition. See, like that, we can have an inclusion also like this. So nobody can say, say that, no, we don't have a disability athletes, we don't have blind. No, you can, if you have the will, there is a way. Next, I'll come to the persons with disabilities. This is a PWD. UNESCO as a very, very strong PWD Act, Persons with Disability Act, and especially they are again and again mentioning about the inclusion. And India is one of the very few countries now when they immediately they have signed PWD Act of UNESCO. India is one among them. And normally, the disabilities have different types of categories. They have a mobility and physical impairments, spinal cord disability, head injuries and brain disability, vision disability, hearing disability, cognitive and learning disability, psychological and invisible disabilities. So now some of the invisible disabilities, you can even the organs, the transplantation organs, those people also become the comes under the disability. So there are 21 different disabilities are identified universally, globally. 21, including leprosy cured persons, chronic neurological conditions, sickle cell disease. These are all the 21 disabilities are identified. But in this topic, I'm covering only the major categories of PWD, physically challenged, hearing impaired, visually impaired, intellectual disability, autism, cerebral palsy, and multiple disability. And among this, the first four is more priority, and I am not ignoring the autism, cerebral palsy, and multiple disability. At the same time, I am also not say that the other 14 disabilities also should be taken care. Like now, a very surprising, this is the World Health Organization. It clearly says that in the world population, 15% of the total population is affected with some sort of disability. 15%. If 100 people, there are 15 people are affected with the disability. But among the 15%, 2.4% experience significant difficulties in functioning. I'm talking about another, when you're difficult, they have a severely affected disabled people, 2.4%. But our Indian government has also made the statistics, and they said they estimated only 2.1%. I'm really I'm not agree with this figure, because the statistical procedure maybe have some problem, because when globally they identified 2.4%, whereas India says only 2.1%. So there must be some, they have not taken proper statistics, especially they have not moved into the rural area. They covered only the urban area. Even if I take it into granted that 2.1% is almost now we have 13.8 billion people. So in this, if I calculate, 2.94 people are having significant difficulties in functioning. Significant difficulties in functioning. Actually, if I calculate 15%, it is more than 40 crore people. But no, I'm calculated only I've calculated only that severely affected people. So for this, we have to think about that. There are so many people, 2.94 crore, almost 3 crore people. Even normally we suggest 10:1. The teacher ratio for the persons with a disability, we always calculate 10:1. If it is 3 crore, we need at least 30 lakh people. 30 lakh people must be qualified or having knowledge in educating them. But I have not calculated the total 3 crore people, and about the 3 crore people, I left 50% of the crore people is not going to school. They may be an adult or not going school, not gone to the schools or colleges. So for the school and colleges going on, almost 15% of the people now they are going to the inclusive integrated schools, and because inclusive sports, the education is a high priority of the government. So all the people are, all the persons with the disabilities are approaching any school, even normal schools, get admitted. I mean, even one more information for you all. If any persons with a disability approached a local school for admission, if the head of the institution or the administrators of the institution, if they deny admission, they can be sued. The government take a severe action. Even they can arrest the principal or the headmaster of the school, because that sort of the strong PWD Act they have. And there comes I said when they are coming for education, and why they are not able to participate in the physical education and sports, because play is the birthright of any individual. It is a birthright. Nobody can deny their right because of their disability. Even a person without disability also, it is a right. Play is a birthright of the child. So there comes the inclusive physical education and sports. Why? Because they should have equal opportunities. They should also live in this society with the dignity, and they should recognize for their ability, not for the disability. They want the recognition for their ability. For example, blind, yes, visually impaired, he cannot see, but he can walk, he can talk, he can run, he can play, but he can't see. So he cannot see, but there are other aspects he can do. He has a lot of abilities. So that is why inclusion is very, very important. And that's why I mentioned today's revolution is inclusion. So the importance of physical activities, as I mentioned, this will improve their academic performance, because play, physical activities and sports as a carryover values. Like he can be he will improve the sense of acceptance, and it will improve his neuromuscular coordination. It improves his collaboration, social skills, and individualized goal-oriented coaching. And also, we are now, the latest concept is their parents become a shadow teachers. When they are attending the classes, the parents also can work as a shadow teachers. Along with the special educators, they can work as a shadow teachers. These are all the importance of physical, inclusive physical activities. And actually, you all aware, you will accept that education is an art, and physical education is also arts and science. When I say science, yes, sports, coaching, physical education, all is today is the science. Because when he throws the ball, we are not only teaching them how to throw, we are also teaching them a patha projected, how to reach the maximum distance by throwing the object, whether it's a shot put or javelin or discus. So similarly, when he is playing, when he mounts the ball, we always tell them, no, it is every action there is equal and opposite reaction. When you give more force, more balls will come. And the angle of reflection and the angle of the circular motion, air resistance, so many things involved in coaching and physical education. So inclusive physical education is again a specialized art, like a doctor, a medical professional, how is examining the patient and prescribing the medicine. Similarly, a physical education teacher should analyze the athlete's ability, ignoring the disability, what are the various abilities he has, and he has to develop and implement, and also he has to monitor the well-planned and balanced program, specially designed for the persons with the disability. So it gives them the learner skills and necessary for the lifetime and a worthy leisure time and recreation and sports experience. Because we are insisting this for all the children, all the students, whether he is in the schools or college, say the physical fitness is the very, very important, and recreation is very, very important, and their health is very, very important, and persons with the disability are no exemption to this. In fact, they need more physical activities, more recreational activities, more health conscious program. Whereas because of the normal children, they have no, because of their lifestyle, they'll go here and there, they visit people, but physically, persons with the disability, because of their movement restriction, they need more physical activities. That is why inclusive physical education and sports is very, very, very important. All the research has shown the physical education programs can, greatest improve their lifestyles. And they can improve their competency. As I told you, the gross motor skills, they can control their obesity, and moreover, they improve their self-esteem, social skills, active lifestyle, and motivation. In fact, once they know, they develop their motivation, and nowadays, and I can say not only motivation, they can be they can motivate even the persons without disability, like Mariappan, a person with physical disability from a small remote village of Salem, Melvadagampatti. Now he become the hero of sports in India. And now he is a motivation not only among the physically challenged and also all the even normal people. Now people are even referring, no, why not you include this? Why when he is doing, why not you? So that is why I always tell them, don't, and we are not underestimating or we are not comparing with the others, but when he is doing, why not us? So it is a responsibility of the community. It is a social responsibility, and especially the physical education teachers and coaches should bring them into that. So I'll tell you some of the tips how this people can include athletes in the physical. One boy, his name is Raju, he's 13 years old. He wants to join a swimming team. But he is not a competitor. He is not for competitive swimming. But he is like whenever he can have free time, he'll come, and he is he's a recreational swimmer. And he has a above knee amputation, so that he cannot walk independently, but he has a prosthetic leg. But you want to swim. He has a very close to his house, there is a swimming pool, but he wants to go and swim. But you know, the kicking is a very important skill in swimming, but unfortunately, Raju cannot kick like other swimmers. But when he invite, no, when he wants to be in the team, I know that the coach has encouraged him and asked him to come and join in the aquatic team, and now he is not a competitive swimmer, but he's learned swimming, and now because of him, the entire aquatic complex and the entire aquatic team is motivated. And every day people, even the long absentees, are coming and chatting with him, encouraging him, and they are swimming with him. So this is really a benefit, not only for Raju, even for the other swimmers. So this is one way. Don't expect to bring him to the Olympic level, but fitness, recreation is more important than competition. Next. See, now more people are coming, joining because of the media and a lot of exposure, and people are aware of what is Special Olympics, what is Paralympics, what is Deaf Olympics. And now you can see the blind volleyball. The blind people are playing football. And you see that some of them are blindfolded. These people are normal people. They are having sight, but with the blindfold, they are playing to understand the practical difficulties of the visually impaired people. And so that they can also participate in the blind volleyball as the unified partners. I'll come to this. So the people with disabilities have the right to participate on the team, not only individual events, not only one in swimming and running and throwing events. They have the right. This is the UNESCO's the disability activities has clearly mentioned they have the right to participate on the team. And there are some simple opportunities that physical education teachers, coaches, they have to think about that, and for the teams as a beneficial and increasing diversity. And the team also will gain a new experience. And they will also gain the social responsibility of persons with the disability, how to handle them, how to motivate them, how to encourage them. And the coaches should always have a positive attitude towards inclusion. Don't worry about, if I include him, what will happen, how we can perform, it will affect our team performance. Don't think that. No, you have to have a positive performance, positive attitude. There are many techniques you can include in the inclusion to develop the athletes. For example, the deaf athletes, if you wanted to have them in the drill, the teacher should not worry, how can I keep them in the class because he can't hear my instructions properly and he cannot perform. But if you think that the other way, if you wanted to really include him, you put a drills on the written on a board. Prior to the class, you written how we are going to demonstrate the drills today. If you written and if you with the pictorial demonstrate pictures, he can see and he can perform equally. Don't think about, oh, I have to repeatedly tell him because he can't listen. No. So that is the positive attitude. There is a way for everything. In every problem have a solution. Similarly, focus on the person's, instead of the disability, you find out how to involve him. In this picture, he is a neuromuscular disordered person. Even he cannot push the ball. But now the coach has think about that, and he had made a ramp. So he'll keep the ball on the top. So he has to push the ball. So it will run through the ramp and it go for a distance. That is how we have to, the way we have to create for them to learn. The strategy is achieving the goal, and this will demonstrate that you want to them all prove. I have seen this, I have personally met this boy. First day he could not even push the ball. But sometimes, I asked the coach how long it will take. Sometimes he said 1 week or 10 months or 10 days. But even if you try to push the ball, and that will take 1 week, but the progress will be there. But the happiness after seeing the ball rolling and moving forward, the happiness in his face was really amazing. And also, we can provide opportunities for the athletes to be a leader. At this junction, I would like to mention the physical education and coaches can be very creative. Like, for example, in the Moss drill, we are demonstrating the athletes, all the students are there, and the teacher is demonstrating this 4-count exercise or 8-count exercise. He said, for number 1, raise your hands. Number 2, sideways. Number 3, forward. And number 4, keep it down. This is the exercise is going to teach all the entire class. The class consists of 40 members. In that, 2 blind people and 1 hearing impaired also in the class, because it's an inclusive setup. So how to involve these persons with the disability in the masters? That's how, instead of omission, think about inclusion. Normally, the physical education teacher come in the front and he will demonstrate the exercise. Count number 1. Raise your hands, palm facing each other like this. Number 2, sideways. Number 3, forward. Number 4, down. So this part you can employ, or you can bring the blind boy as a model, and you can ask him to stand straight. And for the number 1, you raise your blind person, you hold the blind person's hand and bring up. Oh, and you correct the mistakes and tell the students also follow this, how he is doing. The hand should be like this. Number 2, bring down, sideways. You help the blind boy to do as a model, but he is standing in your position. Instead of physical education teacher, the blind person is standing in front of the entire class and he is demonstrating number 1, number 2, number 3, bring forward, number 4, down. So this, because you are teaching kinesthetically, he will understand the position of the movements. Oh, first one is like this, 2, 3, 4. This is learning directly from the instruction of the teacher. And now, if you give the continuous, say 1, 2, 3, 4, he'll start doing, because he is a very, very understanding and he knows the position. Now, he is helping the physical education teachers. What way? He is, by teacher is giving the count, and he can move around the class and correct the mistakes of the other students. Whereas in the previous setup, previous thing, the teacher only stand in the position, he cannot go and correct because he is doing demonstrating. Now a demonstrator is doing the exercise for continuously and rhythmically, so that the teacher can go and correct the mistakes. So think about this situation. The blind boy is the leader of the class, and he is demonstrating the skill, and all the other students without disability, they are following the demonstration. So don't keep the same physical blind boy as a teacher, and you change the other blind boy also, and sometimes you change the deaf boy also in the class. If you have a wheelchair athlete, you can bring him and give this sport, not the leg movement, only the hand movement exercise a wheelchair athlete, paraplegics can demonstrate. So this is how the teachers know you how to make them as a leaders. Don't ignore them. And they have the abilities. Ignore about the disabilities. So in this way, if you see after the demonstration, you see the reaction of the and response from the other students, they will come and cheer him. Oh, so very good. Like that, no, they'll start, hey, you're very good, man. Because some of the students are learning from his leadership. So similarly, the collaborate with the athletes, sports equipments and the drills. Don't think that, oh, what these people are, no, I am the physical education teacher and I am the coach. What should I learn from them? No, you have to sit with them and discuss with them and find out whether it is okay, how you feel, whether we have to make any changes, and whether how many of you learn. What is the difficulty? So interact with them and modify the sports techniques. I may thinking, no, something, oh, this technique is the best, but that may be people with the visually impaired people have taught me so many techniques when I am introducing blind volleyball. First thing, when I say the totally blind and partially sighted, so first thing is, they told me, sir, whenever they declare totally blind, you put them blindfold. This was the suggestion made by the visually handicapped person. He is a totally blind. I asked, why, man? They are declaring they are blind. No, sir. Sometimes the partially sighted also will come and say that no, they are blind. Oh, so when we put the blindfold, it is accepted by them. But some people are refused to wear the blindfold because they are partially sighted. They said, no, sir, I am telling blind. Why you want to? Oh, you are a totally blind. What is the difference between having a blindfold? Why not you have? So this is a way sometimes they will give a lot of inputs. So why not you change this way or that way? So when I really when I introduced the volleyball for the visually impaired, sometimes the coach of the team, he started giving instruction, a hit on the right side or left side or center side. They said, no, sir, this is not the right thing. The coach of the team is giving instruction. That is right. Let them play on their own. So we have modified the rule. So we made the rule that coach should not give any direction to the players. What happened the next year when we conducted the competition? The coach has said, sir, I'm not going to give any direction. Okay. We inform them you are not supposed to give a direction. Okay, sir. But they use the code words like Pungavanam, Brindavanam, and Nandavanam. Pungavanam means straight. Brindavanam is left. Nandavanam is, sir, as per the rule, I am not giving any direction. I am giving only Pungavanam, Nandavanam, and Brindavanam. What is wrong? The rule doesn't say anything. Then we have changed the rule, modified the rules accordingly. I think even you should not speak during the competition. After the ball is dead, and you can give any instruction. But during the rally, you are not supposed to give any instruction. Like that, no? This is that collaborate with the athletes and modify the sports technique and rules and regulations. This is a very, very important. Next, the many sports are the many sports. Many sports have the rules and competitions that have been established that will successfully include people with the disabilities. For example, in wheelchair, not only one bounce is the normal tennis is only one bounce, but in wheelchair tennis they allow two bounce. They allow two bounce. So accommodate based on the rules of the sports governing body. There are some adaptations are accepted. Modified rules are accepted. For example, for the visually handicapped can participate in long jump. Yes, long jump, they are allowed to participate, and they have an Olympic event on the Paralympic. Visually impaired people, blind people as having the long jump. But only thing, instead of measuring from the takeoff board to the landing point, they said takeoff foot to the landing point. They are not considering the takeoff board. So before his jump, they sprinkle water on the sand, and wherever he takes the takeoff, that point from will be counted to the landing. So from the takeoff front portion and the landing back portion, that is the distance. Because they can't see the takeoff board. They can't use the takeoff board as a jump. So this is how there are rules, there are modified, and sometimes for the hearing impaired, they will use, instead of using verbal instruction, they have a visual clue. Like if anybody is, when the player playing volleyball, football, or any game, they throw a soft ball, a fluorescent soft ball. The referee will throw, instead of whistling, he will throw the ball. So after seeing the fluorescent ball, small soft ball, it's a small like a tennis ball, and they will stop the game. Otherwise, they will continue. So this is how we have to accommodate. Like two bounds is allowed in tennis. So okay, and athletes with disability want to be like the other members. So you should have similar expectations. You should have the physical education teacher or coaches and whatever. You should have the expectations similar like any other person. Treat them as any other person. And they actually you should not compare with others. That's all. What I wanted to say, don't compare with others. They have to improve their skills. So don't give any consideration because of their disability. You always consider their ability and motivate them, encourage them, and like any other team member without disability, you should consider with disability also the same expectations. So you must improve. Yesterday you thrown only 4.3. Why not improve 4.4, 4.5 like that? So how you are treating the other athletes, the same way they should have the similar expectation. And because the rules and regulations for the persons with the disability competition and the regular federation for without disability, the rules and regulations and guidelines are the same. So please don't give any consideration because of the disability. We always consider the disabilities, and you should have the expectation. They are capable of playing. Sometimes, no. I actually I've conducted one unified athletic meet for the persons with intellectual disability and without intellectual disability in one of the school in Montfort School in Chennai. See, I made them the partners, the unified partners, and I made them pair, one persons with intellectual disability and without intellectual disability together. And I told them, no, we are going to conduct a shot put competition, and team score will be the average of both performance, both without intellectual disability, so-called normal, and with intellectual disability. To my surprise, sometimes the intellectual disability athletes are thrown far away than far better than the normal athletes. So don't underestimate them. Everyone, so they have the same expectations, right? And the coaches should promote the independence among the athletes. See, they should that independence you should foster in there. You can encourage them to first day maybe they come with the parents or with the escorts, the 100% dependency, and the next day you can they have to decrease the support from the parent or like that. Slowly 80-20 and 70-30 and 60-40, 50-50, 40-50, like that. One day they have to be independent, and you have to make them see. Don't know even know if you allow the students to bring their own equipments, and after the activity, when they have to take back all the cones and what are all the training equipments to the storeroom, you ask these people also to take them and along with them. So let them also bring, let them also wear their own shoes, and let them also do the jogging and everything. Slowly, independence. That is very, very important, because this is one of the carryover value of physical education and sports, make them independent. So, and sometimes they also will come up with the creative ideas. Accept them. So independency is a very, very important for the future. And seeking advice as a physical education teacher or a coach, you should talk to the other teachers, physical education teachers, those who are handling the same type of adaptive physical education. And sometimes you talk to the coaches and even the parents and special educators, administrators. So learning is a lifelong process. Don't think that, oh, I am the qualified person, I am the trained person in adapted physical activities. No, I can't listen to anybody. No, that attitude you should have. Awesome. Sometimes, as I told you, the athletes will give more valuable advice. More valuable advice. So I wanted to share one of my experience. When it was happened in Minnesota and Minneapolis in 1991 World Summer Olympic Games, when I was the athletic coach for the Indian team, one of my athletes, John Matthew from Bangalore, he jumped. First, he made he made a wrong fault. It's a foul jump. They disallowed the jump. Second, also, he made the wrong foul jump. It's a very good jump. And that time, one of the co-athletes, he is from South Africa. He came and told John Matthew, because the coaches are not allowed in the field. I am watching. The South African athlete, he comes and tells, hey, they can't understand because what he is talking and what he is saying, nobody can understand the language. Communication that time, there was a big gap. So he advised him to take one step begins from the starting point. One step begin starting point so that you will not make. So that you given some distance. You take like this, start from here. And that boy, the South African boy was leading. He was the number one. But the third jump, John Matthew followed his advice and he jumped. What happened? He cleared more than that boy and he became the gold medalist. John Matthew became the gold medalist and he got a silver medal. But immediately after his jump, the South African athlete went and hugged him. I said, see, that is what you should. Very good. But they are intellectual each other. He didn't say, he never bothered whether I get the gold or silver or bronze or ribbons. No. But that is the advice. So sometimes they will get. So the coaches should all know. You should know what are all the other federations, what are all the associations in helping in development, and you should also have a national center like a Special Olympics. Oh, okay. It's they have a national body in Delhi. Okay, they have all the state area, and there's sports directors and area directors involved in Special Olympics. Similarly, the Paralympics, it is also based in Delhi. They have a Paralympics, and they have not only physically challenged, they are allowing the visually impaired also. Nobody knows that Paralympics is only for physically challenged. So you should contact and you should understand. Now you should have interaction with all and there are a lot of brochures and techniques available. And if I can say that about more than 340 literatures available in Special Olympics website. So that is how we have to improve this thing. Okay. Next, the coaches required who responsible for accommodating the athletes with the disabilities. No, many even schools and colleges and these people, they think about whether we can how to accommodate them and how to manage these people along with the regular athletes. No, that is only an attitude. If you have the right attitude to willingness to try, definitely they will do their best. So always look into the abilities, never look into the disabilities. Next. So here very important that the importance of inclusion in unified partners. Unified partners are the persons without disabilities. And they train together and they compete and they have a unified sports team. In Special Olympics, I don't know how many of you are aware of, there's no Special Olympics, unified sports or parallel competitions happening in every Olympics. Every Special Olympics, there is a regular traditional way of conducting the competitions only with the intellectual disability, and side by side there is a unified sports. If it is a volleyball team, 3 persons with intellectual disability and 3 persons without the intellectual disability. You can have this unified teams in your institutions If you don't have any special athlete, you can collect from the inclusive the nearby special schools, or that they can have a unified sports. But only thing is these unified partners in physical education and sports have equal ability. When you are having a partner, don't bring the university player or national player or state champions as a partners. You should have equal ability. If he is playing very slow, or if he is run slow, you have a slow runner. And if you play football, same ability. If you are playing badminton, have a partner with equal ability. Similarly, similar gender, male with male, female with female, and similar age is also better. And please don't have a inclusive or unified partner from the family, because he is already having the network with the family member and the relatives. So through sports, you bring another person in their network. Sometimes he cannot share everything with his parents or brothers or sisters. But if you have bring a same ability, gender and age person, a similar peer group, he can have a very good changes in his life skills, as well as his performance. Now, the benefit of inclusive physical education, it has a carryover value, not only physical, mental, and behavioral. So now we have almost all the games they have, except in almost all the Paralympics and Deaf Olympics and Special Olympics. They have all sports, especially in the Paralympic. They don't have sometimes they have the pole vault is not there, but hearing impaired, they have a very good pole vault. And intellectually challenged with Special Olympics, they don't have. So they have selected, and especially in Special Olympics, they don't have any aggressive sports like boxing or judo or fencing. These competitions are not in. So when they have competitions, first thing is benefit is you have to think about their health and recreation. Start with the recreational activities. Competition is not the first thing. First is the recreation. From the recreation, they can improve their fitness. The recreation fitness are the base. Then once they improve, then you can go for the competition level. So the physical fitness is the most important keys for the healthy body. And you all know this will also help us in many ways. So physically, they should, whether he is a person with a disability or without disability, fitness and physical fitness is very important. Next, mentally, everybody should understand the awareness of the limitations. So I am, as a person, I can drive a bicycle and a motor car, and now I can drive a car also, but I cannot operate the flight. I cannot, aeroplane I cannot, even I have a scared to operate drive the lorry, heavy vehicles. So everybody should understand the limitations and their potential. So by involving them, by bringing them to the play field, they know their limitations and their potential. And it definitely improves the self-confidence and self-esteem and their mood and mind, and release tension and stress. And also this sports will help us, physical activities help us, the depression fighter. Next. And behavioral, they have a sense of acceptance. See, as a player, he knows now, whenever he does a mistake, whenever the referee blows the whistle and say if it is foul, he should accept. Sense of acceptance. And I'm really very, when once I was in Australia for the cricket competition, people are asking, have you met, have you seen Tendulkar? Yes, I have seen him and I had a chat with him. And okay. Oh, really? Oh, he's a god of cricket. Australian is telling that god of cricket. How can he say that? No. He's a man of acceptance. Man of acceptance. Once he knows that the caught behind the wicket is from his bat. It's DB. The catch was caught behind the wicket. He walk out. He never look into the umpire's decision. Those days, not much third umpire decisions. So he will walk away from the crease without looking at the umpire's decision. His acceptance. That is why they said, no, he's a man of acceptance. So similarly, this person with a disability also, they want to be a part of the society, part of the team, and they also want to contribute something. Not only the player, sometimes the same attitude will come in the family also, in the society also, in the community also. This person we are developing as a team player, not only in play field, but also in the other areas. And decision making and problem solving will help in many ways. Physical sports as a very good, because when the ball is with him, whether he has to take a decision, and within fraction of a second, he knows that decision is right or not. When he passes the ball to the teammate, when the opponent intercept and take the ball, oh, my mistake. I have not done this. This is a wrong decision. So immediately, whenever you play the basketball or table tennis or badminton, whatever, he will immediately, he takes a fraction of second, he has to take a decision. Within fraction of seconds, he knows whether the decision is right or wrong. This will help him in the problem solving skills. And also it gives a more focus like any other, and it promotes engagement with the peers. Engagement with the peers means that they are always busy with this same team members, and attention and sportsmanship all will improve through this thing. Now you should understand what is the degree of disability. The degree of disability is one thing of person's ability level. They have classifications. The visually impaired people, they have three classifications, and you cannot assess the same. We cannot have a competition for the same. According to the degree of disability, we have to assess that and determines which way and what that has been calculated in the percentage. For example, for the intellectually challenged, the IQ, intellectual quotient, is how whether he is intellectually challenged or not, how they have a mental age divided by chronological age into 100. Mental age divided by chronological age into 100. If a 10-year-old boy is having a mental age of 5 years, 5 divided by 10 into 100, so his IQ is 50. His intelligent quotient is 50. Mental age is only 10 years old boy is having only mental age of 5 years. So 5 divided by 10 into 100 is that. Like that, degree of disability is another area. Next slide. So the visually impaired have a classification of disability. Is a totally blind. They call it as a T11. T12 is a low vision and partially sighted. The issue is, they similarly the physically challenged, they have a sitting group, standing group, ampute, cerebral palsy, and DORF. So they have a different classification, 51 to 57. And similarly, the intellectual segment, mild, moderate, and severe. This is another area. And next. And in the intellectual disability, they have competitions according to their ability, not according to their intellectual disability. Okay. Next slide. The hearing impact, for hearing impact, there is no classification. They're treated as a single group. So communication is very, very important. Instead of verbal communication, you have to give a visual communication for them. As I told you, the 100 meters race, how it started, annual marks, set, and go. Like that, we have to give a visual communication instead of verbal communication. That's all. Next. So there are top for these people. They have Olympics, Paralympics, Deaf Olympics, and Special Olympics. And you can see the difference. No, the Olympics and Paralympics, there is no O in Para Olympics, and Deaf Olympics also there is no O. Only Special Olympics is one. This Olympics for all. Olympic for all. Anybody can participate. And this Olympics is open to all for the elite athletes. Paralympic also for the physically challenged and visually impaired. Deaf Olympics for hearing impaired, and Special Olympics for intellectually challenged. They cannot participate. A physically challenged cannot go for Special Olympics. Deaf Olympic athlete cannot go for Paralympic. But all these people can participate in Olympics. You know, one of our Blade Runner was participated in the Olympic. So like that, anybody can participate, but this Paralympics exclusively for physically challenged and visually impaired, and intellectually elite athletes also now included, and Deaf Olympics for hearing impaired, and Special Olympics for. Next. So the revolution is inclusion. I have two. This thing. Can you have demonstrate the volleyball? Volleyball. Volleyball. Can I have two videos? Can you play the video, please? My God. So in this video, it's for the blind people are playing the video, and see there's no this they are can't see the ball at the over net, so they are playing the modified. Major modification is they are playing under the net, and two totally blind, two partially sighted, and two normal people are playing in the game. It's a inclusive, completely inclusive. The totally blind are wearing the blindfold, and they are playing with two partially sighted, two totally blind, and two persons without any disability. Normal people can play. So now this is one of the modified volleyball for the visually impaired. Okay, next video, please. See, this is 2015 Los Angeles. They had a beach volleyball game. In this game, you can't find out who is intellectually challenged or who is normal people, but all are international players. They are all Olympic champions. They played together. He's an Olympic champion, and you can't find out when they are playing, whether they have a disability or not. Michael Pelf came and he swam with them. He is a tennis player, international champion. And this is how the unified sports, persons with and without disability. And she is also Olympic champion from Japan. And so the football competition also. So he is Down syndrome. And now this is how the game, and it has a real value. And okay. So intellectually physical education and sports have a very, very strong they have a promoting social inclusion through shared sports activities, and also training together and playing together, and that is the most valuable, and equal ability of the athletes is very, very important. Any question answers? Rajkumar?
Sir,
Any question answers can be, anybody wants to have questions, let them ask.
I can hear, sir.
Now, any questions from anybody?
Sir, they will post their questions in the chat box, sir.
Okay.
After that, you can send your answer through mail, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunities given by the SRM University, especially the team of physical education professors in the department. And our thanks to the Dean and Deputy Dean and all the Chancellor and Pro-Chancellors and all the participants. If you have any questions, I can post. You can post my msnogwood gmail.com, and I can answer your doubts and questions. Thank you.
Sir, Dean sir.
சொல்லுங்க மோகன்.
Sir, நீங்க about the sessions ஒரு felicitation towards about Dr. MS.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. It's really, I was listening fully. It's a new experience for me, though I am a sports lover and a person who is even still watching, a lot of games in the TV live or the highlights. Because that gives me a lot of satisfaction, and it is a stress-free. Maybe now we are not able to find time to play, but even watching the games is very happy. And today I think I got a new dimension in sports. Really, thanks to Dr. MS Nagarajan, who has been instrumental for all our faculty members. Dr. Mohan Krishnan was telling that you have molded them in such a way that they can excel in their field. So really, thank you very much, Dr. M.S. Nagarajan, sir, for your inspiring and giving a different dimension in sports. As far as my experience is concerned, you might be aware of it. In Madras Christian College, we have started a program called Sports for All. I was the convener for that Sports for All program. And we made it a point that all our first year students must visit the ground for at least 2 days. And we have planned in such a way that all the boys and girls in different batches, they come and they do some basic exercise for 20 minutes. You know about our the ground like SRM University ground. So they used to spend the stretch of exercise for 20 minutes. After that, they go for their own game, 1 out of 15 they used to choose, and they play as a team. And I am a strong believer of sports, because sports is the only place where we can get good friends and where we can thrash out a lot of the differences of opinions also. And in my, the school days, I still remember in our village grounds, we used to play volleyball. But when I have seen this video of players with different ability, closing their eyes, they play volleyball. It really is wonderful, and because those people should not feel bad that we are denying a chance of being a sports person, because the pain which they have, because of not giving a chance, I have come through that one, really. So even in that Sports for All, I used to go and meet some of the differently challenged people, and we used to give them, the special gadgets by which they play. For example, we used to throw the cricket ball, which is making noise, and the bat also, which making noise. We used to play with them. So they were doubly happy than the ordinary sports person. So we should not deny any chance for them. I think Dr. Mohan Krishnan will definitely take note of it, because they are doing wonderful job in the Department of Physical Education. They are making the people to go and win in Olympics and in the nationals and at the state level. So this is also a different dimension, and I think you have to take care of this area of sports also. So I wish all the people, it must be a truly inclusive rather than just for a namesake. I think normally we used to discuss about the divide between rural and urban, or elite and poor. Even the games also, they used to divide us. These are all the games which is meant for the poor people, like kabaddi and all. These are all the things like cricket and so many other things which will be only meant for rich people or in the urban people. So that kind of inequality was there, that could have been wiped out because of various, the digital format of game or knowledge about that. But now this is really inclusiveness, and I think our physical education department will definitely not, moving away from that, and they will take different steps to incorporate this dimension. And I wish the department to have more and more of conferences and workshops like this, and use people like you, so that I think it will be very useful. So really, thank you very much. And again, as a sports lover, I always be in touch with sports, and thank you very much. I was really very happy to know that Indian Under-19 has gone into the finals, and we are waiting for them to win. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your felicitation, sir.
Yeah.
Now it's time to propose vote of thanks. It gives me immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks. I'd like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor Admin, Pro-Chancellor Academics, Vice-Chancellor, Registrar for their blessings to conduct this national level workshop. I'd like to thank our Director of Sports for taking a great initiative to conduct this national level workshop. I'd like to thank Dr. M.S. Nagarajan, the speaker of today's workshop, for sharing his experience and educating us. I'd like to thank our beloved and honorable Dean and Deputy Dean of School of Humanities for their great support to conduct this national level workshop. I'd like to thank all the participants for attending a wonderful and useful workshop. Thank you, one and all. Jai Hind. Good day.
Thank you, Nagarajan sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A very
Thank
good
you.
workshop. Very nice, sir. Nagarajan, sir.
Thank you very much.
We came to know many things. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Director, sir, thank you.
I have to thank Mohan, sir. Mohan was right from the beginning. He was with me, and he was a deputy technical director for the World Games of Special Olympics in Mumbai. He was always with me. Okay, thank you.
Good sir. Good sir. Good sir. All the best, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Jesus Rajkumar.
Tell me, Dr. Mohan, director, tell me please.
Vote of thanks. Panadini.
Mudinchu.
I have done the vote of thanks, Dr. Mohan. Thank you.
Thank you all, sir. Thank you so much. Sir. Thank you.
Thank you.